headlines for tonight. 6.9 earthquake jolts Cebu City, leaving 60 casualties as medical teams from various agencies were deployed for the relief in the province.
Former Finance Chief Benjamin Jokno says budget insertions often leads to waste and corruption.
The poll body has no power to disqualify incumbent officials who receive campaign donations from the government contractors, according to Chairman Garcia.
Taliban administration cuts internet and mobile data connections in Afghanistan.
Good evening, Bray. The latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN.
And I am KRIZZA Lopez. This is Eurotv News Thread. The details on our broadcast. Bogo, Cebu was jolted by a 66.9 magnitude earthquake last night, claiming 60 lives, according to the Office of Civil Defense.
President Marcos Jr. directs primary agencies to mobilize all resources to respond to the victims' needs. More from this report.
The death toll from the 6.9 magnitude earthquake that struck Bogo, Cebu has climbed to 60, according to the Office of Civil Defense. OCD Officer in Charge Assistant Secretary Bernardo Alejandro IV, casualty reports continue to come in while the number of missing persons has yet to be confirmed.
But we have been receiving reports na meron pang mga natrap. Kaya nga we're making sure na tama itong mga information na receive namin, and we have tasked our regional office to really send an assessment team on the ground.
Following President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive, government agencies have been instructed to prepare immediate assistance, including food and water supplies for affected residents. The OCD has already deployed search and rescue teams composed of various uniformed personnel and delivered initial relief goods, with water as the top priority.
The family food packs na readily available, no, to support them. And then ang pumapasok ngayon na kailangan talaga is water. That's why we have mobilized our water filtration team.
The initial assessment also shows significant damage to homes, with the final count still being validated. Alejandro noted that Bogo City District Hospital has been overwhelmed with patients injured during the quake, while unstable communication lines remain a challenge for rescue operations.
Medyo hindi maganda yung, hindi stable yung communication doon. That's why we're setting up yung with DICT, no, yung mga alternate natin doon kasi hirap minsan ng communication, no.
According to Feebox, the quake's epicenter was recorded in Bogo, Cebu at 9:59 p.m. Monday night. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
Medical teams have been deployed to Cebu province as government hospitals begun to overwhelm with injured victims due to the quake. Vanessa Cleophas has more.
The Department of Health, or DOH, has already deployed a medical team in Cebu to assist following the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that shook a large part of the province, causing destruction of several households and infrastructure, while some individuals were also reported injured and dead. This is in accordance with the directive of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to immediately provide aid to the people of Cebu affected by the strong earthquake. The DOH promptly deployed health workers and prepared emergency medical response teams in the province. The first batch of the medical team from the DOH Vicente Soto Memorial Medical Center arrived early this morning. Among those sent were general surgeons, emergency medicine doctors, and orthopedic specialists carrying medical supplies and other equipment necessary to immediately respond to injured patients. The second batch of health workers from the DOH medical team from Cebu City followed shortly after. Currently, Central Visayas has been raised to a code white alert, meaning the DOH Operations Center is ready to immediately release medicines, medical equipment, and health emergency response teams to areas in the region affected by the earthquake. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
Following the strong and disastrous magnitude 6.9 earthquake last month, the Office of the Vice President joins prayer for the victims of the calamity. In a message, OBP expressed its condolences to the victims of the tremor in Cebu and Leyte, sharing sympathy as well to the fatalities and injured from the tragedy. In line with this, OBP also conveyed commitment to provide help and assistance to the victims, to the individuals, families, and communities heavily affected by the earthquake. The OBP will be coordinating with its local and satellite offices to send the assistance with its offices in Cebu, Bohol, Siquijor, Eastern Visayas, Panay, and Negros Island. The office also joined prayers for the speedy recovery and rehabilitation of the most affected communities.
The price of liquefied petroleum gas has been frozen in Bogo, Cebu, in response to the situation in the province. The Department of Energy stated that the price freeze may be extended depending on the situation. Catherine Landicho with the report.
Department of Energy imposed liquefied petroleum gas price freeze in Bogo, Cebu following the magnitude 6.9 earthquake.
The Department of Energy or DOE has implemented the price freeze on liquefied petroleum gas or LPG in Bogo City, Cebu in response to the impact of the recent magnitude 6.9 earthquake. The price freeze takes effect today and will last until October 15, although it may be extended depending on the situation in the city. According to the DOE, the measure is part of the agency's swift response and in line with the President's directive to ensure the immediate recovery of the areas affected by the earthquake. All stakeholders in the energy sector have also been instructed to conduct inspection, assess damage to their facilities, and prioritize the immediate restorations of the power service. Strictly enforcement of safety protocols and emergency measures is also underway to ensure the safety of both energy facilities and personnel. The DOE is closely coordinating with the local government units and the other concerned agencies to ensure a smooth, rapid, and safe recovery process. The agency continues to monitor the situation to guarantee the continuous delivery of services and support to the affected residents of Bogo in Cebu.
This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
Moreover, the provincial government of Cebu has decided to place the province under a state of calamity after a 6.9 magnitude earthquake. To ensure the safety of students, classes are suspended while search and rescue operations are underway. Details from Graciela Corazon.
The entire province of Cebu was placed under a state of calamity through resolution and Executive Order number 57 issued by the Provincial Board after the magnitude 6.9 earthquake struck. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or PHIVOLCS recorded hundreds of aftershocks in Bogo City, Cebu, which was the epicenter of the earthquake felt in several parts of Luzon and Mindanao. According to the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office or PDRRMO, the earthquake was felt in the province at 10 p.m. These include the videos showing several employees hiding under a table while calling for help after part of a mall in Cebu City collapsed.
Lord, may pag-save lang ka na, Lord. Guys, wait, please guide us. Ayaw mo gawas.
CCTV footage also showed the tremors in Barangay Sawang Calero, causing residents to run onto the road and some of them to hug their companions. The national highway in Bogo City also had large cracks, with at least 20 people reported dead in the area. The church in Poblacion Daan Bantayan in Cebu also did not survive in tremors, where it almost collapsed due to the strength of the earthquake. There were also reports of deaths and injuries due to earthquakes, with the several residents in the area seeking help for those reportedly trapped under collapsed infrastructure. Meanwhile, Cebu Governor Pamela Baricuatro immediately set up a joint operation center in collaboration with the AFP to immediately deliver aid to those affected by the earthquakes. The province also declared a suspension of all classes. In this regards, the province of Cebu is accepting all kinds of donations such as volunteers, goods, and transportation assistance for those affected by the earthquake. This is Graciela Corazon for Eurotv News.
Cebu Province, home to numerous ancestral and historical sites, sustained damage due to the destructive earthquake, prompting the National Commission for Culture and Arts to express concern. Consequently, the NCCA is coordinating with the religious sector to extend assistance. Catherine Landicho returns.
The National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or NCCA, expressed deep concern over the extensive damage to cultural properties caused by the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that struck Cebu on September 30, 2025. In response, the NCCA is working closely with the other national cultural agencies, including the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, National Museum of the Philippines, National Archive of the Philippines, National Library of the Philippines, Cultural Center of the Philippines, and the Commission sa Wikang Pilipino to formulate and implement emergency measures for the protections and the conservations of the affected cultural properties. The Commission is also coordinating with the Cebu Archdiocesan Commission for Cultural Heritage and the relevant local government units to conduct a thorough assessment of the damage and extend necessary assistance to the affected communities. The NCCA urged the public to remain calm, vigilant, and safe during this time of crisis. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
In relation to the insertions and corruption involving flood control projects, former Budget and Finance Secretary Benjamin Joknor urges lawmakers from the 20th Congress to focus on deliberating the budget for fiscal year 2026. He stated that lawmakers should show the public they are willing to pass the 2026 General Appropriations Act without insertions. More from this report.
Based on the 2025 National Expenditure Program, and program appropriations were originally pegged at 158.6 billion pesos, but in the approved 2025 General Appropriations Act, the figure ballooned to 363.4 billion pesos, where funds were later discovered to have been diverted by some individuals to construct ghost and substandard flood control projects. Now that budget deliberations for fiscal year 2026 are underway, former Finance Secretary Benjamin Joknor urged lawmakers to prove to the public that they are ready to pass next year's budget without insertions. For Joknor, Congress should stop focusing solely on the flood control scandal hearings and instead carefully scrutinize each agency's funding for 2026. He stressed that lawmakers must show that the 20th Congress is different from previous ones by finalizing and passing the national budget without any additions to unprogrammed appropriations.
Sa tingin ko, ang patunguhan natin dapat stop na lahat yung mga investigasyon. No? If they want to have their act of contrition, yung mga congressman at senador, ipasa na lang nila yung 2026 budget. Kasi ngayon nakasalang na yun, di ba? Pakita nila na itong kongreso na ito ay iba sa mga nakaraang kongreso.
According to Jokno, budget insertions often end up wasted, corrupted, and delayed. He described the huge amount allocated to unprogrammed appropriations as a sign of weak financial discipline. Jokno also pointed out that the national budget is the most important law passed by Congress with the greatest impact on the country.
I'd like to say na yung budget is the most consequential piece of legislation na inaasahan sa Kongreso.
Citing data he presented at a major forum in Manila, Jokno noted that while the Department of Public Works and Highways benefited the most from budget adjustments this year, the Department of Transportation suffered cuts. In the last 3 years, Congress slashed the DOTR's funding and transferred portions to the DPWH.
Unang-una, binawasan nila ng katakot-takot ang budget ng DOTR. Okay? Alam mo yung anong ginagawa ng DOTR? Ito yung mga long-term projects, mga subway, light railway system, mga ganyan. Yun napaka-importante nun eh.
One example is the Metro Manila Subway Project, which would greatly improve public transportation but has been delayed due to the lack of funds.
Yung subway, inaasahan natin na sana magawa na yung subway. Hindi, kasi pinagpiestahan nila yung budget ng subway. Hindi naman gumagalaw yun eh. Kinuha ng Congress, pinagpiestahan nila, ginawa nilang mga proyekto.
Jokno further said that the Bicameral Conference Committee is meant to reconcile budget versions, but it has also become a venue for insertions. He clarified, however, that insertions occur not only in non-program appropriations but also in program projects. In previous Blue Ribbon hearings, insertions linked to Senator Jinggoy Estrada and Joel Villanueva were flagged. Investigators found Estrada's 355 million pesos project listed in the regular 2025 GAA, while Villanueva's 600 million pesos allocation appeared under unprogrammed funds in the 2023 budget. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
Amidst the ongoing multi-trillion flood control scandal, the National Union of Cooperatives demanded public accountability and urged former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldi Co to return to the country and face allegations of corruptions. Henry Nicolas has more.
Following the ongoing controversy over the multi-trillion anomalies in flood control projects involving public officials, former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldi Co, who is currently outside the country, according to Malacanang Palace, the Department of Justice has already requested a blue notice to monitor the current whereabouts of the former lawmaker. The National Union of Cooperatives demands a public accountability through a manifesto against corruption amidst the ongoing investigations on the misuse of public infrastructure funds. NUC believes that political dynasty is the main root cause of corruption in the country.
Ng political dynasty, kaya we're against political dynasty. Yan po ang mga resulta ng more corruption, at ang nagkokontrol ng ekonomiya ay ang mga pamilya lang. Alam po natin yan. Kung saan maraming political dynasty, doon mas maraming mahirap. Yan po ay napag-aralan na, no? At may mga study na po tayo dyan. Kaya we're against political dynasty.
The NUC also demands Co to return to the country to answer the allegations against the lawmaker, particularly concerning the flood control funds and alleged budget insertions. The manifesto of NUC demands full investigation and prosecutions of the persons and organizations involved in the misuse of public funds. Aside from Co, Congressman Martin Romualdez is also implicated, having been initially named by the Diskaya as allegedly receiving kickbacks from the projects.
Para po, makapagpaliwanag siya. Sabihin niya, ano ba ang nangyari? Sino po ang mga nagpasimuno nito? So mahalaga, magkaroon po tayo ng pakikipag-dialogue po, di po ba? Magsalita siya sa Kongreso, sabihin niya, ano po ang totoong nangyari.
Kung siya magtatago, meron din tayong kasabihan, flight means guilt. No? Kaya't na hamon po ng kooperatiba, ang mga nagtatago, lumabas at harapin ang kaso nila. Thank you.
NUC stated asking for forgiveness is not enough. It must be accompanied by punishment and the recovery of the alleged stolen wealth of anyone involved in corruption. The group also stands for good governance to rebuild trust and is against any form of corruption. The group also stands for good governance to rebuild trust and is against of any form of corruption. If the funds for the ghost projects and flood control had been properly used, the group claims that over 500,000 families could have been benefited.
Isipin na lamang natin, sa halip na napunta sa anomalya, ang halagang 1 trillion, ito sana ay nagamit para sa mga kababayan natin that fall below the poverty threshold.
The NUC called for transparency in government bidding a lifetime ban for corrupt officials and contractors, as well as the protection of whistleblowers. This is Henry Nicolas for Eurotv News.
The Commission on Elections, led by Chairman George Erwin Garcia, has launched an investigation into the 2022 campaign donations received by political candidates from government contractors. He clarified that though disqualification is not possible, criminal cases may be filed. Mia Layagin has more.
Amidst the anomalies and corruption issues tied with the flood control scandal, the Commission on Elections pushes through its own investigation regarding 2022 election candidates who received donations from contractors. COMELEC Chairperson George Erwin Garcia said that the Commission is now under the process of checking the candidates' statements of contributions and expenditures or SOSE, from where they track which candidates received campaign donations and contributions, particularly coming from government contractors.
Siyempre po naging ang issue, kaya po ang COMELEC, pinalikan po namin ng 2022. Bilang nag-vote pro na po kami, kahit tutuusin, dapat hindi naman. Yeah. So wala po nag-obliga sa COMELEC, kami mismo, nagbigan namin ng sarili namin. Nireview na po namin, tinapos po namin ng President, Vice President, Senators, party list, Congressman ng District, Governors, and Vice Governor. Hinalap namin ang listahan, magmula sa Presidente, Vice Presidente, hanggang Vice Governor. At nakita po kami, 55 na. Yung una po ay 52, ngayon mga tagdag na tatlo, kaya po 55.
The issue on prohibited contributions and candidates caught the public eye following recent revelations linking government contractors and some lawmakers to the flood control scandal. It can be recalled that during the House inquiry on flood control anomalies, Centerways Construction and Development Incorporated President Lawrence Lubiano admitted that he donated 30 million pesos to former Senate President Francis Chis Escudero's 2022 senatorial campaign. Lubiano, however, claimed that the donations were personal and private and were not under the company. Article 11, Section 95C of Omnibus Election Code of the Philippines prohibits persons with government contracts to give contributions to individuals for the purpose of partisan political activity. Under the said law, both the contractor and the politician involved are to be held liable with the offense with 1 to 6 years of imprisonment and possible perpetual disqualification to hold public office. While this is an election offense, Garcia clarified that COMELEC cannot disqualify incumbent officials convicted as this is outside their power and jurisdiction.
At this point, wala po kaming kapangyarihan mag-disqualify ng mga nakaupo na kung sila ay nakaupo. Ang habol na lang po ni COMELEC sa puntong ito ay kasong criminal o election offense. Yung puntong tatanggal, hindi na po sa amin yung ngayon. Kulit ang jurisdiction niya ay hanggang sa bago na-proclaim lang yung kandidato, maliban na lang kung may pending na kaso sa COMELEC involving the candidate na may ground ng disqualification. Kung wala naman, naproklama, nakaupo na, kahit magdesisyon ang korte o nag-file ang COMELEC ng kasong kriminal, ay hindi po ito maging resulta ng disqualification.
Garcia noted that these officials' disqualification or removal from office will depend on the Supreme Court's ruling, an order from the Interior and Local Government Department, and or through the Office of the Ombudsman. In relation to the issue of campaign donations on Escudero, Garcia said that Lubiano's lawyer have appeared before the commission, while the senator was already sent a letter requesting for his appearance before COMELEC.
Sa investigasyon ng COMELEC, it is our duty sa ating mga kababayan na ituloy ang lahat na ginagawa. And therefore po, matapos na po yung proseso, nagbigay natin yung due process doon sa mga akusahan para naman po at least mapakinggan sila. Due process is just at least an opportunity to be heard. And everybody should be entitled to it para po walang question or issue tungkol sa proseso ng COMELEC.
This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
Following the attack of Yemen's Houthi militant group to a Dutch flag cargo ship, the Philippine government still verifies Filipino casualties on board of the vessels to ensure immediately provide assistance to the Filipino seafarers. Here's the report.
The Department of Migrant Workers is still verifying whether any Filipinos were among those injured in the attack by militant groups on Dutch cargo vessel Minerva Grac while sailing in the Gulf of Aden. The cargo vessel was carrying 12 Filipino crew members, prompting the Philippine government to express concerns. According to the DMW, they are already coordinating with the ship operator Employer Manning Agency and the Department of Foreign Affairs to verify if any Filipinos were injured in the incident. The agency is also ready to immediately assist Filipino crew members to provide medical assistance as well as repatriation if necessary and counseling. The Houthi militant groups in Yemen claims responsibility for the attack on the Dutch cargo ship. Since 2023, Iranian group militants have continued to attack ships allegedly linked to Israel in the midst of war between Tel Aviv and Gaza. According to the EU maritime mission ASPIDES, 2 seafarers were injured and 19 crew members were forced to evacuate due to Houthi cruise missile attack. The cargo ship sustained significant damage and caught fire during the attack. This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the distribution of aid to typhoon-affected residents in Masbate province following the widespread damage caused by severe tropical storm Opong. Banasak Leofas has more.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the distribution of various forms of aid from different government agencies to typhoon-affected families and individuals in Masbate province. This after a widespread damage caused by severe tropical storm Opong recently hit the country. The President, along with the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD and the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE, 600 families received 10,000 pesos each from the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situation or AICS. 2 checks amounting to 34.8 million pesos from the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE Region 5 were given to the provincial government of Masbate for livelihood assistance and tulong panghanap buhay sa ating disadvantaged workers or TUPAD program, benefiting 6,455 individuals in 11 municipalities in Masbate. The DSWD also brought food packs, hygiene kits, 10-meter laminated sacks and water filtration kits. The Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Officer PCSO also sent grocery items.
Nag-instruct na ako sa DBM bago ako umalis ng Maynila na mag-download ng 100 million na LGSF para meron kayong immediate na magamit na para sa pag-rehabilitation. Kaya po, patuloy po, pero huwag kayo mag-alala. Patuloy po ang suporta ng pamahalaan hanggat nangangailangan kayo. Kahit na matagalan tayo ng konti dahil hindi pa nyo naaayos ang inyong mga tahanan, nakasupport na kami. Kahit umalis kayo sa evacuation center, pero hindi kayo makauwi sa sarili ninyong mga tahanan, ay tuluyan pa rin magsusupply kami nitong family food pack.
Meanwhile, aside from government aids, President Marcos also said that they will promptly adjust the nearly 800 classrooms damaged by the Typhoon Opong in the province, aiming to repair them within 1 month. Currently, thousands of families in Masbate are temporarily staying in evacuation centers, which now serve as their home because most of their houses were damaged by the typhoon's impact. This is Vanessa Cleopas for Eurotvphilippines News.
A survey reveals that President Marcos' trust and approval ratings went up on June, prompting the chief executive to ensure public service will be given to Filipinos amid the anomalies over the flood control project. Mia Layagin has more.
Marcos Jr. satisfaction ratings improved in June, a recent social weather station survey revealed. Based on the SWS survey, Marcos's satisfaction scores rose to 46% at June 2025, with more Filipinos satisfied of his recent performance. This is 8 points higher than his April ratings, placed at 38%. Marcos got the highest satisfaction scores from Balanced Luzon, placed at 54%, followed by National Capital Region and Visayas at 42% and 35% in Mindanao. Meanwhile, 36% were dissatisfied, while 19% were undecided. Marcos welcomed these results, expressing commitment to continue good service for Filipinos.
It's of course, it's nice to know. I didn't know about that, but now that you tell me, of course, I'm glad that it's that way. I guess we just have to keep working. May gulo. Ang taong bayan ay umaasa sa pamahalaan na tuloy ang serbisyo, tuloy ang trabaho ng pamahalaan, tuloy at every level, at the national level, at the local level, na tuloy-tuloy lang. Kami, mga public servant, kami ng mga hinalal ng taong bayan, ay dapat nakikita na hindi naglalaro na kung ano-ano ginagawa, namumulitika, whatever, basta nagtatrabaho lang para makapagserbisyo sa tao. I hope that's what is coming from, and
PBBM also expressed commitment to respond swiftly following recent calamities like typhoons and a magnitude 6.9 earthquake in Cebu. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
2 individuals were seriously injured in San Rafael, Tarlac Tuesday night after a terrifying 4-vehicle collision captured on CCTV involved a truck side-sweeping a tricycle and sending it into the path of an oncoming SUV. More from Shai Morales.
A 4-vehicle collision was caught on CCTV in San Rafael, Tarlac this Tuesday evening. The incident happened around 8 p.m. along MacArthur Highway, where surveillance footage shows a series of vehicles driving along the busy highway. Moments later, a tricycle, or locally known as kolong-kolong, carrying a passenger is seen sideswiped by a truck from behind. As the tricycle toppled onto the opposite lane, a white SUV coming from the other direction collided with the vehicle at full force. The impact sent the passenger flying onto the road. Following the crash, a bus, unable to stop in time, struck the rear of the truck that had initially hit the tricycle. The accident left both the female passenger and the tricycle driver badly injured. Meanwhile, the front end of the bus had significant damage due to the force of collision with the truck. According to eyewitness Alias Arabs, local police officers who were passing by immediately responded to the scene, providing timely assistance to those who were caught in the crash. On the other hand, passengers from the SUV, bus, and truck were left unharmed. This is Shai Morales reporting for Eurotv News.
A nationwide shutdown of internet and mobile phone data service has been ordered by the administration of Taliban. Massive disruptions included halted flights and blocked financial services, among others, were experienced across the Afghanistan. Son Santiago has more.
The Taliban administration has ordered a nationwide shutdown of internet and mobile phone data services in Afghanistan. According to Reuters, diplomatic and industry sources confirmed the blackout on September 29, yet access has been interrupted since the 16th of the same month. Residents and monitoring groups also reported massive disruptions, including halted flights, blocked financial services, and banking operations. Meanwhile, several societal infrastructures, including schools, were also closed. NetBlocks, an internet watchdog, said connectivity there already collapsed from 0 to 1% as of the time being. According to reports, Taliban has previously cited morality concerns like online pornography to justify restrictions, but officials have yet to give any explanation for the latest shutdown. The United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan, or UNAMA, is calling for the immediate restoration of internet and mobile services to prevent further harm to the Afghan people. It can be revealed Afghanistan recently experienced a deadly earthquake, current severe water crisis, and the mass return of Afghan refugees expelled from other countries. Meanwhile, the Taliban, which retook power in 2021, has tightened its conservative values on women and society at large, according to the Council on Foreign Relations. Hence, according to UNAMA, such a ban impacts the different functions of their society, including access to financial systems, emergency services, and freedom of expression. This is Son Santiago for Eurotv News.
The long wait is over. Former Big Bang member T.O.P. is set to release his new song after a long hiatus. Sam Martos tells us more.
Let's step into the world of entertainment for our showbiz news. South Korean rapper Cho Sung-yoon is making his comeback as solo artist and released his first solo album this year. One of the former members of the South Korean boy band Big Bang and K-pop rapper Cho Sung-yoon, also known as T.O.P., is making a comeback with a solo album. According to a report from the Korean Herald, Yoon will be releasing a full-length album in the fourth quarter this year. This will be his first solo music release after releasing his digital single Doom Dada after 12 years. It will be remembered that Yoon rose to fame when he became part of the South Korean boy band Big Bang when he joined in 2006 and ended in 2022 and continued to leave the group in 2023. Meanwhile, Yoon was last seen playing Thanos and one of the players in the popular hit series Squid Game. And that's our entertainment news. Once again, I'm Sam Martos. Back to you, Alvin and KRIZZA.
Thanks, Sam Martos. And that's the latest news for tonight. You may visit Eurotvph.com for more news and information. Once again, I am KRIZZA Lopez.
You can also catch our live broadcast through our social media accounts and via Pinoy Stream channel. I'm Alvin Pelobello. Thanks for joining us. This is Eurotv News Thread. Stay safe and have a good night, everyone.